What's up, guys? My name is Andrew Everson of Shapes by Everson, located here in Virginia Beach, Virginia, on the East Coast.
Hi, I'm Nick with AkuShaper, and we're here today to interview Andrew Everson of Shapes by Everson about his experiences and knowledge using the AkuShaper software. So why don't you tell us about how you got your start in the surf industry?
Yeah, it's kind of a fun story. Broke a board and couldn't afford to buy a new board. So naturally I thought, oh, we could just make a board, right? That's going to be cheaper. Turns out it was twice as expensive. You buy the tools, everything like that. Became way more expensive than an initial board buy. But the experience with it, just kind of dove into it. Watched a few YouTube videos back then, which had no information, and went for it. Just literally grabbed the blanket and said, I'm going to figure out how to do this, and started going for it. And that's what started the whole saga.
Tell us a little bit more about how that first hand shape came out.
Oh man, yeah. Back then it was beautiful. It was perfect. It was everything I wanted out of it, right?
Yeah.
Now I look at it every day. I'm in my shaper room because it's hanging on the wall. And I look at it and I'm like, what was I thinking? So progression over time, every time I look back at it, it's just a reminder of where it started. Nice. And the skill sets that have been developed over the years.
So you were formerly 757 Surfboards, and now you're Shapes by Everson's out of Virginia Beach, Virginia.
Yep, so for 12 years, 11 years actually, running 757 Surfboards was what it was. Mm-hmm. Just recently switched over to Shapes by Everson for a little bit more growth. I want to be more recognized as a shaper and have my models and everything be really well known, hence the name transition.
So yeah, thanks for sitting down with us today. That's why we came out here to interview you, talk about your experiences with the AkuShaper. You've been a longtime user, one of the best ones we know, and we wanted to really tap into what it is in the software that enables your business and helps you to build surfboards better, faster, and more efficiently.
So the program has been great. Working with it really helped me figure out exactly what I want, very precise little aspects of it. Whereas I would draw the template on the board, tweak it, move it, and then if I wanted to make it 6 foot, 6'2", I had the template, I'd have to go through, remake it, all of that. So it really streamlined operations, which is huge. And also lets me really get down to the nitty gritties. And I can see every aspect of it. And one of my favorite parts of it is the 3D bay and how I can see like pretty much right through the board. So I could see certain aspects of the rails there. I could see that part. I could flip it all over. So virtually, I'm here in the shaping room inside the program there.
So you have your computer out here today with the software. Tell us a little bit more about what you've been working on.
My most popular model, the Reaper model, small wave board, the Grovelly style. The East Coast doldrums is what it's good for. But one of the key parts of it here is really playing with the center of mass. Okay. And taking that aspect of that and on the bell curve that you're able to put up on there, really finding out where is the exact spot you want it to be. So as the surfer, you know, if they're front foot heavy, back foot heavy, finding that balance. And I can really tweak that on the program very easily. I go on here and just play around with the whole system, and I can move it over and I can do those minute adjustments that really just takes the board to the next level. Mm-hmm. So I might think I make one for myself and I'm like, oh, this is perfect. And then I find maybe I want a little bit more foam forward. Instead of going through and reshaping it all by hand, I could come here on the computer and really take a peek at that little area there.
So the ability to make fine adjustments in your designs and your shapes is really crucial for your business.
Yeah, I mean, I save every single one. You know, you got version 1, version 2, version 3, version 4. Every time you play with it, you can save it. And then I could go back and reference, what did I like on the previous one? What do I want to do on the new one? So it's always that information logged right there, and you always have it to refer to. As long as you're smart enough to save it, of course. But you always have that, and really, I just love being able to play with that.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome, actually. Yeah, a lot of that stuff, you know, really kind of comes in handy, especially, you know, as you get better being a shaper and, you know, really like learning about the board design and all that. But you fully understand that.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about some of the main features you use in the software, such as the outline and the rockers and the slices.
So I really love the ease of use with the rockers. Okay. We could take it over to, like, you click on the bottom button there and then you tap on nose rocker, get that going, and I can really tweak that without really changing the foil too much on the overall board. So I really love that feature. And in the slices, I'm going to pull it up here just to kind of refer to it. I love where I'm able to actually manually input exactly where I want that slice. So specifically on the tail, if I'm coming up a few inches off there and I really want to set some V in the board, I look at it, I know where I'm placing my back fin specifically for that board, then I can tweak the V on there and putting that slice exactly where I want it, extremely accurate. So I really love that feature up there. And then being able to do the concaves with it as well. So I can fill out the rail a little bit, still bring down, keep that full rail, get a little bit more downturn, and then still keep the concave that I want to set up on there. And I could tweak the concave without tweaking the rail too much as well. So awesome aspects there. And then when you zoom in on it and you take a rail here and you really like that rail profile, you can actually take it and blow it up on the screen, and then I can mimic my rail that I really liked on a hand shape that I did and transfer that directly into the program. And consistent as can be.
Wow. And so you talked designing a lot of boards for the local area.
Yeah.
Looking to other places, you've traveled a bit.
Yeah.
Where do you see your shapes and designs, Shapes by Everson, in the future? What would you like? What would you like to design boards for too? The dream. Yes,
the dream, yes. The dream would be to be in France. Traveled over there, graduated college, got a van, toured the entire coast of Europe there, and ended up in France. Loved it there, Biarritz specifically, hanging out there. I'd love to see my boards over there. I mean, when I was over there, they worked, but this was years ago. So I'd love to take the refined shapes and take them over there and put them on those punchy little waves or the little reef breaks that they've got out there. They've got everything out there that I don't have here. I've got sandbanks. That's all I've got.
Yeah. So you design a lot of different boards for different types of waves around the world.
Yeah, beach breaks. You could go in there, and then you have the program set up here, and you get somewhere else, and you really think, all right, cool. This rocker worked at this spot, but this wave in this area is a little bit more hollow, a little bit more meaty. I need to adjust the rockers to be able to fit the wave a little bit better, or if it's faster or slower. So I can still take that same model and do those tweaks in the program and allow that program to really help me out and dial it in. Then I just got to get it cut somewhere, and I know people have machines all over, so as long as you have this in your back pocket, you could take it and travel anywhere and get them going.
Well, it sounds really cool because it sounds to me like you do design these to be cut and perfect and for different waves, so you're able to focus more on the design aspect and in there without having to tweak different things and try it and what have you. It sounds like so you're geared up to utilize the way it's been built to design, cut, shape, surf.
Yep.
But it also sounds like you've got a lot of your hand shaping background kind of into play into this as well.
Yeah.
So it's it's not just one of these things, but if you could just maybe just elaborate how your hand shaping, how the whole thing kind of like progresses through for you.
So starting with hand shaping, I had a feel for the tangible board there first. So when I'm looking at the board in the program, I have that hand shaping background, so I know exactly what I'm looking for when I'm on here. If you were to just be somebody that just wants to be a designer on there and they go in the computer, they can design a board. Anyone can pull a board off that, but it takes that hand shaping experience and knowledge and background to really understand the board. So when you're playing with the rails, you're really understanding how the rail works, and then knowing when you're following out the overall outline there or doing the rocker specifically, you have that vision already. So that knowledge is already stuck with you that you can transfer into it. And then when you pull it off and you go through and screen it, you know that, all right, this was exactly what I had envisioned for it, because I wanted to get this end result here off the product there. And there it is. It's right there in life. And you have that knowledge from the background of hand shaping to know exactly how you need to take it down, especially when you're playing with the rails.
Yeah, so it sounds like AkuShaper is kind of a tool in your bag, if you will, like your planer, your Sureform. It's just something that you're able to utilize to, build surfboards better.
The program is more so of a major tool in the tool bag because you go through and you have your basic hand tools that you're going to use. You have the planer, the Sureform, the sanding screen, sanding block, all of that. That's what gets the end result done. But you have to have the vision. And if you can't picture the board previous, then you're not going to shape a board in the first place. But having the software, Aku program here, has really helped me create the vision of what I want. So that's the first step. And step number one is going through creating that vision on the computer. And then whether I take that and get that sent off the machine and get that cut, or I take that idea and print out a template through the PDF aspect of it and design a new template on there and then hand shape it, is a major tool in the tool bag because of the fact that it's so versatile. So I can take it, send it off to cut, or I can design my new outline, my new rail template, all kinds of stuff off of that program. And I know it's accurate. It's exactly what I wanted there. Major component for the whole aspect of board building.
What makes you proud to be part of the AkuShaper board building community?
So I really love it because if you can talk to somebody that's using the program, you guys are already on a level playing field. So you have that knowledge there. So it's a very user-friendly community and it's a very supportive community. So when you're talking to another shaper that's using the program, you guys can jump in and get right into the details of it, and you can talk shaper to shaper as if you were, whether I was shaping 10 years, he's shaping 20 years, but we both have experience on there. We can both talk nitty gritties. And that's what I like. I like the technical details of it. Have you tried turning the rail this way? In this style way, if you're doing this, we can pull up both our programs and we can compare and contrast there instead of having to be like, yeah, so when you do a rail, you want a round rail. We're far and above and beyond that, where we're talking technical specs. And that's where the respect in the whole community has come from. And that's where it makes it fun, where if you travel around, you go anywhere else that they're using that program, you guys are already on a level playing field, and it's building that community together.
So do you plan on telling people more about the AkuShaper software in the future?
Yeah. Anytime I'm around, I want to have my computer there. I mean, first of all, this tool can go in the airplane a lot easier than my planer can. They're not going to question this one as much, but I have the basis there. I've built that. So I can spread the word of Aku and take it around, and I can show people, hey, these are my designs, check this out, and get those aspects there. And it's all on the computer.
So the software is kind of like a tool in your tool bag that you can take across the globe with you.
Yeah, I mean, it really is.
Without, borrow the other ones.
Or imagine like trying to throw templates in a board bag and go with that. Like, you're not going to be able to do that.
Where do you see the future of the surfboard industry going?
So I think with the futures of surfboards, I mean, it's all going to be just performance. I'm a performance shaper. So I think we're going to gear towards the eco-friendly stuff, the light as possible, aerospace, everything there. And I really see the future of surfing and board building actually getting bigger, because the sport is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I mean, we've got Target sponsoring, female surfers. So it's getting out on a broader aspect there. So more people are going to be getting into the sport of surfing as it's becoming more mainstream and popular. But I think with the future of surfing, it's going to really turn into designers, and the old school shaper that's like, I only make boards by hand. I used to be that way. If you don't adapt to it, you're not really going to proceed into the future. And I think everything is going to turn into designing it somewhere, but having that knowledge behind it is going to allow you to really dial it in. So I think the future of surfing is going to it's going to turn into the world's biggest sport. Soccer is there right now, but surfing is eventually going to overtake soccer. And we're coming into the Olympics with surfing finally. Stoked on that. I wish I could be there, but once it jumps in the Olympics, we're going to watch it skyrocket. And look at the surf parks now. So the wave pools that are coming around, like, the future of surfing is definitely on its way up. And one day it's going to be the world's biggest sport. And I'm going to be there building those boards.
So where do you see Shapes by Everson going in the future?
I'm going to be there, right there with it, adapting as we roll through the changes. And, I'm young. I'm not the youngest shaper in the world, but I'm young, I'm computer savvy, I'm a millennial, so I know how to work computers and I get down and dirty. I know how to work hand tools. So, people much as myself are going to be the reason why surfing continues on. And if you don't adapt, you get left behind. And we're young enough, we've got plenty of time to learn. And now we have a next generation coming that we can teach. So,
my last question for you today is, if you were to pick out the slogan for AkuShaper, what would it be in one sentence?
Oh, no. The slogan, building your future.
Building your future with AkuShaper?
Yeah, or Aku helps you building better performance. Or, this is tough. This is a very hard question.
Go ahead.
You put me on the spot with it. I'm a very creative person. I'm just over here brain farting with it.
Yeah.
But the slogan with it, build better. Precision. I think Aku is precision. So take precision and run with that one. Thanks for having me. I was stoked to talk to you guys. I really appreciate the interview.
Yeah.